Couch has joined us. Mr. Couch was previously a judge executive at Trimble County. And he's asked to join our committee, which our bylaws state that we can add members with a 2/3 majority vote. We do have a quorum present here today to do that. Would anyone like to have any discussion about that, or would you like to make any statement, Mr. Couch?
I'm retired from here,
Mhm.
After serving 13 years on the board as county judge. Went to Frankfurt, was there 9 years, was the executive director of all the ads. I'm very much aware of everything that goes on here. There might be a few little ticks that's new since I retired 4 years ago. But I'm excited about being here, being a part of it, and I appreciate it. Consideration of the board to put me in.
That sounds great. Is there any other discussion? Okay, someone have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, would anyone like to second it?
I'll second. I'll go first.
All right. We have a
Yeah.
motion from Mr. Lipke and a second from Judge Travis. All those in favor? Okay, that carries unanimously. Welcome to the committee, Mr. Couch. Our next order of business is election of officers. Our bylaws call for a 2-year term, which I'd like to thank Judge Travis and Mr. Libke for serving the last 2 years. We do need to have a nomination or volunteers for the next term. Does anybody have a nomination or would like to volunteer for it?
I think since Judge Travis has done such a fine job, I'll nominate him if he's interested in still keeping that.
Somebody else wants to. I'll second it now.
Okay, we have a nomination for Judge Travis for chairman. Do we want to take those separately? Chairman and vice chairman? Okay, all right. Is any other discussion on election for chairman? Okay, all those in favor of Judge Travis for chairman for the next 2025-2026 term? Any opposed? All right, unanimously carries. All right, thank you, Judge Travis. And for the election of vice chairman, do we have any nominations or volunteers?
Just keep doing it.
I'm fine with it.
Serving if everybody wants me to, I'll do it, but if Judge Ogburn would like to do it, he's more than
I'll
welcome.
make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Judge Ogburn and a second from Judge Travers for Mr. Libke to serve another 2-year term as vice chairman. All those in favor, please say aye. All right, then it also carries unanimously. All right, Judge Travis, are you interested in stepping us through the rest of the agenda? Okay, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Very much, number 4. Here, like to address. Oh, Chris, my bad. Gotcha. Jump too fast. The minutes here are in your sheet in front of you.
Accept the minutes as posted.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Question, am I supposed to vote or not? Forgot. Can I vote?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I could, but I wanted to ask, because I did. All right, so motion passes on the minutes. Next, number 4 will be public comments. Anyone here, I don't know, maybe on Zoom, like to address the committee?
No, and then that we did not receive any public comments before the meeting either.
Okay. It's easy. So we close the public comment section. Next be the shift schedule and sponsorship.
Yes, the shift schedule is the next to last page on your in your meeting packet, with all the bright colors. The key dates that we're looking at is similar to the last cycle. The end of April, we'll have our sponsorships. And then the end of August, we'll have our boosting. And between those, that time, hopefully we get our scores. We have the same number of boosts as the last cycle with 9, which we divided up 2 per county, with the odd one going to Shelby County. However, we are fortunate this year that they've increased the number of sponsorships. Last cycle, we had 20 sponsorships that we divided up evenly with 5 to each county. This time we have 27, so we have an additional 7 to allocate. Last cycle, when we did the 5 per county, it didn't seem to affect the number of projects that actually ended up in the highway plan. I noticed that Henry County and Trimble County both had less than 5 projects, and Spencer and Shelby County had closer to a dozen projects. So it seems that the number of projects maybe that they get are maybe more proportional to population. Shelby County, of course, has a higher population than the other 3 counties combined. I believe that if we allocate the sponsorships more in line with the number of projects that we're expecting to receive, that can help meet the purpose of them by providing that local influence to the state legislature. So I have a proposal to allocate the sponsorships with 5 again to Henry and Trimble, and going with 7 to Spencer and 10 to Shelby. That's a little bit off from population. If you actually did it population wise, it would be 14 to Shelby. But I think that 10 in combination with the sponsorships from the highway district office will probably be more than the number of projects they'll receive. But at this point, I'd like to open up the discussion to the committee on the proposal of how to allocate the sponsorships for this next cycle.
I'll start off since this kind of started with our Shelby County meeting when Kipta and KYTC and everybody came out to Shelby County. We talked about our projects. I brought it up that I felt that we're kind of the engine right now that's amongst the counties with economic development and growth, whether it's residential or commercial and everything. And we're seeing a lot of pressure when it comes to transportation, and we got a lot of projects that really need to be done that are, we've actually had on the books for probably almost my whole 20 years working at the planning commission out there. And so I thought I brought it up to let's look at this and how they're allocated based on more population and really what's going on in the counties, instead of just blanket of everybody get the same equal number, because there's a lot of differences between our counties. Nothing against the other counties, just thought that it would be fair, you know, a little, since we're having all this transportation and congestion that we're starting to see, that we need to really start ramping up what's going on in Shelby County, and maybe some of our projects we could get boosted or put in their completed basket, and we can get that moving, and then the other counties can follow up. But that's kind of where our meeting ended up and why we have this discussion, I'd say, right? I mean, you all agree?
So are you talking about accepting what?
I think that's fair. I do, I really do feel that when we saw that, I mean, it's not completely based on population. Like you said, if you took population numbers, we should really have maybe 14. But 10 will get us our major projects if we can get those in there. And then, like you said, if
There are other factors that.
correct, other things will happen.
that are put in the funnel to drip down, you know, to get a project
Yes.
out and finished. And so I know, you know, it's important, you know, you all have a big population, that's understandable. You got more roads, got more people, you got businesses coming in, locating there. So you definitely need that, but let's
Yeah,
not
we see
forget.
We see the numbers from the other counties too that come in
Yeah,
for the services in our community as well. Spencer, Henry, even Trimble, you know, even Anderson, I mean, Frankfurt, Franklin County, I mean, so we see all that too. Instead of having to go into Jefferson.
I agree, I think it's fair, you know. Because Spencer County's got a lot of people who go that way every day.
Yeah.
Back, you know.
But no, I think from a Shelby County standpoint, based on what they've came up with, the 10-7-5-5, we're acceptable.
I think it's important to note that nobody's losing any sponsorships,
Exactly.
just reallocating the position.
What can this body at this table, you know, thinking about what everything that's said, and I'm in agreement with everything that's been said. But for example, John out of Trimble County, you've got roads that goes to Shelby County. And, of course, we've got Highway 55 goes straight from Elk Creek to Shelby County. And it needs attention. And I'm not sure, John, the road, of course, you go through Henry County to get to Shelby County.
Yeah, but we've got a section of 55 in our county as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how could we, from this table, from this group, assist? Let's say if we focus on 55, now granted, the roads that we put shift scores on are in desperate need of assistance in Spencer County. Can't take that away from that. But 55, with the, with the work you're gonna do on I-64 here, just announced yesterday, and all the jobs that are coming there, that's a road that, in my opinion, needs attention from the state, additional attention.
That's a different pool of funds.
Is that a different pool? Okay.
Interstate.
There,
Well, that's right, that'd be federal, yeah. But nonetheless, I'm with the group as far as those numbers. I'm satisfied with those, but.
we unfortunately, we don't have any truly regional projects that span county lines. Really the closest thing to a mega project we have, I think, is the Highway 44 in Spencer County.
And Bullock County.
And yeah, that's the closest thing that's probably the biggest project we have as a group.
Yeah.
In terms of dollars. So everything has kind of been piecemealed out into the size that sort of bite-sized pieces that the legislature can take.
Okay, that was something else to sure point, whole process.
Yeah.
First of all, the sponsorship is the first level. And what that does is it gathers all the possible projects that anybody wants to consider, including the legislature. And we put those into the big black box up in Frankfurt, and they come out with rankings, numbers, scores. Those scores are based on a lot of things. It's economic development, it's safety, it's congestion, it's not just population. So the benefit that you have as a group is to look at all that pool of projects and pick out the ones that would be important to the region. And 55 is one of those, 421 is one. It goes in different counties, and even though it is divided into separate projects in the matrix, the project and the way that it is scored, if this group thinks that corridor is important, then that's where the focus should be. And then you could sponsor those projects, irregardless of how many for each county. 55, 53, same way. 44.
Well, 55, 421, they're the same road to
They are.
to Emmaus, or
Right.
almost Emmaus, so.
And all of them have at least 3 counties involved. So, looking at it that way, I think that you have that benefit as this committee to look at the region rather than looking at just your own county. One of the things that we do, first, what we try to get out ahead of it, is we have sponsorships too at the district office. We've got 70+ sponsorships. So we take generally the higher priority projects for state routes as our priorities. And then we'll give those to you, so you'll see what we sponsored, and then you can add to that list. If we miss something, you can put it in there. If you have your own county priorities, you can add it to it. So we end up with 120 something, projects to go into that black box. Then when that comes back out, then we have the chance to boost it. The district can boost it, the MPO can boost it. And then that goes back to the group that puts the highway plan together. And when they start doing that, they look at scores, they look at boosts, they look at regional priorities. Then they put a plan together, and then the legislature has their way with it. So I would think if you're going to look at a corridor that you want improvement on as a group, or even individually, make sure your legislator knows it, because they'll see the highway plan before it's finalized, and they have the opportunity to pick a project up or to add something that's been dropped off. So if you have the opportunity to look at this regionally, we're trying to, and we're working with KIP to try to get, some mapping together to share with the legislature. And we're also going to share it with all of you, so you can see as a whole what that looks like and how those projects connect. You don't just look at your own. And we hope to get that in a couple.
Probably sooner, we have draft versions already ready. So it's just putting the finishing polishes on it.
Fantastic. And then we have a list of projects that you can forward through as well, but that's gonna be a big benefit to us too, to see what you think are your priorities. As soon as we can do that, then we can get together, send that out to everyone and let you take a look at it and then make your decision from there. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go ahead and say, so many for each county, but you might want to look at the whole universe of projects before you make that decision. And we're gonna have our list of our sponsorships together, hopefully by the end of March. So we'll hand that to you into March, 1st of April, and you can start looking at things that aren't on it, that you want on it.
So. Like in Shelby County, our list of projects, the 55 corridor from the interstate down, not very far, down to Logan Station where all this is going on is on our list.
Right.
We don't have anything, a project that goes from there to the county line. So that would have to be created and included to get.
If you wanted to do
included,
it,
right?
If you wanted to do it.
So and that would, if we're looking at, if we're talking about the 64 to Elk Creek. Then we all need to have a project within our.
Yeah, we.
But it wouldn't have to be a continuous project. It could
No,
be-
it would be segments.
Yeah, right.
And you have.
But it wouldn't even have to be in contiguous segments. It could be your project there and then a gap to the county line and a section on there, whatever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have to be a continuous.
No, but it would make sense that would, if that's a corridor that we feel is very beneficial to the
Yeah.
region.
Look at all the projects
We
that
should
are
have
on
a
it.
project then that is identified from the point A to point B.
It should have, but you wouldn't have to.
So what we do, so you're saying this,
But if you're thinking, we want improvements to 55 corridor, it wouldn't have to be, we're gonna improve the corridor. Together, it could be, we're gonna improve the hotspots. So you wouldn't have to have a project. that-
I know Judge Bates is not
Bigger,
Would
not-
look better. if we
Coming
get
through
that
Emmett.
all together,
coming through
our
Emmons is a
section, their section.
congested area.
Not
So
necessarily.
the roads are really narrow there, and that's part of 55, so I'm sure that's.
If you can.
He does have a project in, that's,
Once you
Yeah,
get
I'm
them,
looking at-
we have this area come off of 55 where they drive and into the Emmons city limits. And
so if we wanted
it
to
just
have
narrows down
something,
to-
we could take it from there down to.
It's hard to pass to.
That would be a
separate
separate
through there,
thing.
so
yeah.
I'm sure Scott would be interested in
Up to the county.
that.
They do.
Sorry. Okay. I don't have their list right here, but I just.
But yeah, I mean, it's,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
a way to approach it.
There is a project between Finchville and Elk Creek on 55. That's already in the 6-year plan that we have. I think, has been ranked by both counties. So that, at least that southern segment there is there.
Well, and, I know I'm chairman, but I didn't want to call anybody out there just a minute ago because we had 2 conversations going at once. But didn't want to call anybody out, but nonetheless, so, and I don't want to be greedy in Shelby and Spencer because Henry and Trimble are equal parts of this group. And I was over here and you talk about 55 through Eminence, I guess, is a bad spot. Have all 4 counties, Mick, we all had our shift meetings like I had.
Yes, everyone's given at least the top 10
Okay.
rankings.
And I'll just be honest, when we did those, I was thinking more safety. It seems like, we wasn't looking, I mean, we were looking at other factors, but it seemed like there was enough issue with safety issues that there wasn't any room left to discuss some other things. And like 55 wasn't on our top 10, Jim, best I remember.
No, it was.
155 is pretty much the lion's share in my county because of safety, because of deaths and accidents.
I don't think we really looked at regional parts of it.
We had, I mean, naturally, when you're in Taylorsville, we're gonna be greedy and we're gonna talk about Spencer County roads.
Mhm.
Not necessarily look beyond, but sitting here, we're looking collectively. So I mean, it sounds like 55 is a good corridor that needs extra attention if that takes place.
Shelby County and Oldham County and Carroll County have the jobs and, we need to be able to get our people there and get them there safely and, you know, commerce needs to flow on those roads, so we've got the people, they've got the jobs, so we need to be able to make sure they get there and get there safely and, it doesn't take them 5 hours to get from Trimble
Yeah.
to Shelby County, so.
Yeah, that's perfectly said. So,
I'm willing to, if we want to do a regional, project, I think that would be a good one to start with right there is 55 through Trimble, Henry and, into Shelby County and
yeah,
on through Spencer.
Spencer and Shelby.
Mm.
Yeah, cause these are our 4 counties. Of course, if they go through Oldham. But nonetheless, 55 is, it's just exactly what you said. I mean, the 1,500 jobs that they're supposed to have in that new battery plant. I mean, from your house to there, Jim, and you're right out in the middle of Elk Creek, you can get there in less than 10 minutes.
6 minutes probably.
And that's now, but once those jobs open, it's gonna take
And I
30.
know and I travel 55 through there at least 3 times a week. And it amazes me how much more traffic's on that road now than it was 2 years ago. I don't know where it came from. You know, and then you get in Shelbyville itself, up by Walgreens, it's backed up and, you know, people's trying to turn and doesn't last too long. Hour and a half, maybe, then it goes away, but you're still gonna deal with that.
Yeah, they did some improvements on 55 between Elk Creek and Shelbyville.
Drainage. mostly.
And put some rock on the sides and it, I think it helped it. And they put a turning lane in on a street or two there.
And that was a safety, purely driven by safety
Safety.
and paid with safety funds.
Yeah.
Same with 53 when they did 53 up to Old.
But, and again, I'm looking for guidance on best, so we can get the most out of this group on this subject. So,
Since I've been away from this for a little while, I-71 corridor has been a big thing, and they made the improvements from the Snyder up to exit 14. But there was a group of judges that met to hopefully someday get that 6 lane from the Snyder all the way to I-75 in northern Kentucky. The truck traffic is absolutely, you get a wreck and you look and you'll see miles of semis backed up. And that 3rd lane would really make it safer for one and make it an easier travel for all driving on it.
Judge, that group was still together and we're still lobbying for that.
Okay.
We're in the process now of getting a new director hired for that 71 corridor group.
Okay.
So.
Do the counties up along 7 1/4 have those same projects listed for the 71 improvement like we have for 64 through Shelby? Okay, so there's segments in there that, okay,
All the way through the region.
yeah. I mean, but since I've been here, I mean, shoot, the one that's just got announced yesterday has been on there since probably 2005.
And the 71 projects have too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
This money,
it just takes time,
but
but we gotta keep them.
the next one's gonna be going into LaGrange. Yeah, we'll go from there.
You look at one of our projects on our list, and that's out there by the high school at Rocket Lane, 3 lane from Sonic Home to Rocket Lane. Back years ago, that was a area that got congestion because of the schools. School system then went and did staggered start times. Changed a lot of that. Now, we're seeing that project they've done right of way, they're working on right of way acquisition. I think there's utilities are scheduled at some point to be moved and all that, you know, it's all moving along, but we looked at it as a Shelby County. We don't feel that project's as high of a ranked project as some new projects. Cause now, you said out by the Walgreens, if you go from Freedom's Way and Taylorsville Road, go west towards Simpsonville to the Discovery Boulevard, which is where Collins High School is. That area now has, if not more congestion than what was out of Rocket Lane years ago. And so now we've leapfrogged that project on our rankings. and move that in, or put that in our plan, and we're looking to now get that rate higher.
Well, that's part of our problem. Programming and planning is we'll start a project, design it, start it right away, and then people abandon the project. We spend all that money, the project's not complete. What happens to it? If it's a federal project, you wait about 10 years, they send you a bill for the money back. So we don't want to do that.
Yeah,
We want to start a project and finish it.
sure.
And that is really difficult to do the way we do things.
Yeah, but as a local, we're looking at it from a standpoint is what does our local area need?
Oh, I understand today, it's so different.
Yeah, when that project got introduced.
So
But
is
if
there
that
a
property-
way to make the bridge? With that, is there a way this whole 55 could be a regional project? That wouldn't-
Probably not, I mean.
It still has to be by county?
Yeah, the reason why it's segmented and 421 is the same thing, that we have pieces and parts of that project is planned too. Is the cost.
Right, and I know we did that in Bullis County where it was all one project, and then we put it in phases, which needs to be done.
Project.
Right. But is there a way that they can create of this as a project with different phases, or just so this project is actually in this plan? Instead of just talking about it?
The best way to do that. The transportation cabinet do a planning study. And be able to segment it and do the priority sections. And try to get funding for pieces of it. And that way you can, do these small improvements like the one, coming up to 64. In a way that wouldn't preclude you from doing an ultimate build later on. You know from your planning study what you wanted it to look like when it grew up.
So is that like our Beachdale Road from 1848 and 148?
Yes,
So that would be what we would need that, okay.
because that particular project there, you're talking about a couple of different jurisdictions. We don't own the whole road. It's
Yeah.
county, it'd be a joint effort, and we really don't know exactly.
But that's when you said planning study, that's the transportation study, those stories are
Yeah,
handy.
same thing.
So is that how your own county to become a project? I guess.
The planning study takes a different route. We could get that funding more easily than we can.
That's something that would have to come from there.
There's several different avenues. If they could just send us a letter asking for that planning study, see what we do.
Just kind of sit there, make that recommendation to the KIPTA body and that they could, okay.
That'd be a first really good step to doing.
Okay. So that'd be separate from this shift sponsorship process then, so
Yeah, because
that's,
the study doesn't get points.
okay, okay.
I have an agenda item at the next meeting that would address that. Is that what you think we should do, or would it be today of ability to do that? As a, probably better is having it on agenda, I think.
I think so.
You can do some research on that and see,
How we need to move forward with the regional transportation study of the core.
Every year or so, and particularly when the hybrid thing comes out, we will get a request that say, well, we've got so many dollars to spend on planning studies, where do you think we should spend? So you get opportunity to do that next.
Are you good, John, with the 55, 421,
Yes,
all right,
as long as we can add in an exit off of 55 over, Providence area.
Because really from the county, Shelby County line and Henry County line north is where we're needing it. For the going that north way, because Shelby County's is in good shape when they redid 55.
Yes,
And then when we get down to 64 to this down to Elk Creek. Then
you all are correct. You need many lanes from 64 to where those buildings end.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't have enough air, even though they kind of done some work.
that was
About half
KYTC's.
what you need.
That's what needs.
That's what we just, squeezed out of the developer.
Yeah.
You know, that road's like riding a brook, bucking
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I don't know what happened on that one, but I'm glad it wasn't located.
If I had my way, it would have been done.
Yes, same
I
here.
mean, we did get a lot, really. It's a drastic improvement.
It helped, yeah, a lot.
But there needed to be more. There needed to be more.
All right, so we keep moving along, very good, do we, Hudson?
Do we need any action on the projects allocations?
If you all would like to make it an action, that would formalize it, I guess.
Something we need to.
I mean, I'm open to entertain anything from the floor.
I'll make a motion that the allocation of projects for the shift schedule and sponsorship allocation be allocated 10 to Shelby, 7 to Spencer, 5 to Trimble, and 5 to Henry.
All right,
Second.
have a motion on the floor to have a second. All right, of course, this doesn't, you know, boys, our other conversation, that's just covering this agenda item, basically.
Could you include in that somewhere that's adjustable based on our sponsorships? Say, for instance,
Yes.
we get all 10 of your projects.
Yeah, I think it's just this body coming out, not affect any other sponsorships from other agencies.
No, I'm talking about your own sponsorship. Be able to adjust that internally. So you're giving Shelby County 10, but if we sponsor 10 of your projects, you don't need any more. There's 10 sponsorships on the table. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Does everybody understand that? That if KYTC comes in and sponsors those. And that doesn't prohibit us from then picking another project to put in. I mean, if we come back, we had 10, they took 8 of them, we only had 2 of ours, we still have 8 others on the table to put.
Or do the 8 projects get distributed amongst the other counties because you got your 10 priority?
Yeah.
That's my,
It'd be kind
that's
of,
my question.
it'd be kind of hard for you to go home and say, hey, we got 8 more, let's give them the special.
Yeah, if you get 18,
Yeah.
you get 5, you know, but just,
I mean,
I just.
I was just saying that it would, that when we get down to it, it'd be 10 from Shelby, 10 of Shelby sponsors. The 7, the 5, and the 5, and anything you all do is what you do. We get
trying
that.
to I'm trying to so many misgivings here, but you know, I just had to ask.
Understand,
Okay.
that's why we've gone in and looked at all of our projects, and now we ranked all 23 of them.
So,
Just so we have, if something happened where. One of those projects got picked up by KYTC, we'd go to number 11, then it'd bump it into our.
so it doesn't make it twice as likely to happen. If both of you sponsor the same.
No, there can only be one sponsorship.
Yeah.
Okay, can only be one, all right. I understand.
It helps when we boost it, we got it once together, but
All right.
not sponsorship.
And we'll see all that coming here and be able to, we'll have other action.
We'd expect you, Ryan, not to be greedy too.
Yeah, no, it's.
Right.
I think. Hopefully the wording in there is correct, I mean, whatever else, but just. Again, not to take anything away from other counties, just, you don't know, what we're seeing happen in Shelby County is. A lot more traffic and congestion and safety that can come about based on all that, and we need to make sure to cover that, so.
Well, we have a motion on the floor. Does anyone have a desire to amend the motion in any way?
I mean, only reason I'd say is I'm fine with amending it is to address that comment about. KYTC sponsors, and then they pick up one of those projects and they sponsor it, then. That doesn't preclude Shelby, or even if it's a Henry's got 5 and if they sponsor one, doesn't mean you only get 4. They've got the 1, you got your 4, you can add another one, that'd be your 5th.
I think
Your Trimble or.
the interstates are sometimes targets for the district, is that
Oh, yeah.
correct? And Shelby's got the interstate through it.
In years, shift cycles past, sometimes, they'll take statewide priority projects off the top, and we don't even have to sponsor them.
Okay.
Interstate projects being some of those,
Mhm.
but the last go round, they actually put them in the mix, so we really don't know how it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So we need to go ahead and prioritize those, take them off. And then add.
So with yesterday's announcement on 64,
And those
projects are on our list.
can, yeah, I think those are committed.
Yeah, so we don't need to really worry
No.
about them. Okay, that's, okay. Making sure we understand that from the.
So there's 2 projects there that can go to Spencer County.
Sponsor, you might go to Trimble and Henry and say 71, you're gonna sponsor adding that next leg from 14 up to 22 or all the way up
Just
to
kidding.
Pendleton or something. I mean, I know,
Just trying to aggravate.
I know, no, you're good.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion approving the count of the shifts, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, number 6, the Safe Streets and Roads for All. That's the resolution on the back. Mick?
Yes, it is. We recently had the stakeholder meetings with Henry, Trimble and Spencer counties. We do still need to reschedule Shelby counties. And we'll have safety committee meetings in March. But our consultants asked us to also pass a resolution as a regional body. This is very similar to the county resolutions that you've been asked to pass, where it has a target of 0 traffic fatalities and serious injuries. This has by the year 2050. It's a goal of working towards. That doesn't mean that that's a guarantee you're gonna get there. This summarizes the goal of getting the 0 fatalities.
All right, we have on the back, we have a resolution that's being presented to the board today. Just to basically the short of it is the resolution for the Regional Transportation Committee. I'll try to keep it brief and not read it all into the minutes, but if you look at the second paragraph, whereas during the study period of 2018 to 2022, the region of Henry, Shelby, Spencer, and Trimble counties lost 60 persons and has witnessed 222 serious injury crashes on non-interstate roads. And as you read on down, we want to, reduce these to 0. The third paragraph from the bottom, a goal of 0 fatalities. That's the primary goal, and this committee here is establishing that goal, working towards 0 fatalities by the year 2050. If we adopt this today, so I entertain a motion for the adoption of this resolution.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
All right, and a second.
So
All right, we have a motion by Judge Oliver and a second by Mr. Couch to approve this resolution for the for traffic safety. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right, county transportation updates, kind of go around, John, you want to start up Trimble?
We are in the process of getting our right of ways and stuff cleaned up from plowing snow and stuff now. And getting our constituents happy with their yards and stuff again, so. Yeah, there's a lot going on in Trimble County, but. The project through the school, that one's pretty much wrapped up, the turning lanes, and that's made a. Huge improvement on traffic in the mornings and. Just waiting to see how these other projects come in to. So we can continue to improve our county.
Shelby County?
We all talked a little bit about it, I-64, the funding from exit 32 all the way out to the way station is the governor announced yesterday. I always dealing with people in Shelby County, especially when we're dealing with developments and the people that don't want to see it is economic development. He talked about that in his announcement. It's help with economic development for the area. It's not only Shelby, but the region and all that. Just the same as when Freedom's Way, the bypass was announced and it was finished and the governor came out to cut the ribbon to open it up and he said, this is a spur economic development in this community and we have a lot of citizens that are like, well, we don't want anything, it should stay agriculture. Which pretty much it has. We just haven't had it broke that for, so people don't want to sell their property, whatever, and that's what they're right. We've got that announcement, you'll see on Freedom's Way, if you've been through there, coming up close to the US 60. From the heading southbound, there's a lot of cones and all that in that area, that development there where traditional bank is being built. They're adding the turn lane finally, the Frankfurt finally approved them to install that after they had already thought they already had their encroachment permit, but the turn lane wasn't part of that or something. It was just some goofy stuff. And then the next project to the south of that, that's between that bank and Big O Tire. That's another development. They're improving now that entrance for those commercial lots. So that little corridor is getting a lot of activity. But other than that, I mean, I know our county's dealt with all that you all dealt with the snow and ice and salt and all that stuff and hopefully the flooding, hopefully that's all gone and done. We can see warmer weather and hit the golf course, but,
Well, you know, in Spencer County, we were gonna have a meeting, public meeting, the 20th, or.
Yeah, it was the 20th.
It was canceled because, you know, on the 155, widening from Jefferson County all the way to Normandy Road in Spencer County, and that was canceled due to weather. And then yesterday on 1633, which is one of the worst roads in the county, it got overlooked a couple of years. It's patch over patch over patch. And finally got it in where it's gonna be done this spring, you know. But yesterday I went through there and they put a flashing sign that says this road's gonna be closed daily from 8 AM to 6 PM. Beginning this and that, and there was no equipment there, so I just don't know if anybody knew anything about. It's gonna be.
I think you gotta fix some culverts before they blacktop.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I should ask you.
there you go. But I don't have anything else in Shelby County, that's all.
Okay. We don't have anyone from Henry here today. So, yeah, Jim talked about that meeting, and Judge Ogden, we've got, all of our ditches are full of mud and they're all full of limbs and we had the FEMA folks out a couple days ago. And, of course, we've met our threshold and, we've got projects where the creeks is, you know, there's a stretch of dirt and the creek is cut all the way out underneath. And then it's this far from a road that we're gonna have to do a bunch of repairs. Well, since I've been in office, this flood was worse than the March 3rd of 23. The way the rain fell and I guess the frozen ground and everything was wet, all the water ran off, it didn't anything go in the ground. Ponds were already full, so we got a lot of damage, be a lot of cleanup. And I was at a meeting with Representative Tipton and then Senator Higdon, and we were talking about 155 and we were talking about our shift programs and things, and we were kind of getting ready before that meeting on the 20th, they got postponed. And but we were having good lengthy discussions on, and there was a fellow from transportation, I forget his name. But I wrote it down, but I didn't bring that paper. But he was going through the scenario and the probably 155, which most of our shift programs were on 155 just because of the fatality numbers and so forth, but they've got that lined out to where, I mean, it'd probably be 5 years. And some of those smaller programs, I know we need to wrap up here in a minute. Some of those smaller programs, they had combined them into a couple of big programs. They've got numbers assigned. And but it's in the works and there's a strategy laid out. So but that kind of sums up Spencer County for now. Anyone have anything else on the 4 counties? County transportation updates? All right, number 8, other business, Mick, anything else we need to read?
Just our next meeting, April 24th, we'll have our sponsorships. We're hoping to have the district sponsorships prior to that and have some conversations before that and make them official on April the 24th.
All right, sound good?
Real quick, can I ask Larry a question?
Yes, oh yeah.
I'm a veteran. And they're building a new VA medical center in Louisville out there off of Watterson. My veteran buddies back home are asking me about traffic coming in and out of there. So is there a plan to do something there to make that flow?
Different than what's there today. No,
That's gonna be a.
yes, yes and no.
Okay.
There's a new interchange gonna go in there. And it's going to be like an urban diamond, like you got at Barstown Road in Westport, on the waters. So that's gonna operate way better, and it's gonna have bike and ped accommodations through the interchange too, that you don't have today. As far as soon as we get utilities out of the way, so it could be starting as early as this year. In fact, it'll take a couple of weeks to do it. It should, if we can get started on it, it should be about the same. Good. So between now and then, though, I don't go anywhere close to that area.
I'd say that's what I drive now.
I want to thank the state. You all aced, in my opinion, you all aced where Gene Snyder hit 64. That is so much better than what it was. And I know that was expensive. You guys told us like 180 million or something.
Well, let me ask you a question let me ask all of you a question while you're on that subject. If you're on 64 and you want to stay on 64, how annoying is it to you that right lane goes away?
I've never been on doing that because I'm coming the other way.
Okay.
I wish they could have
West
kept,
on
I wish both
Right, east
directions,
or west,
I wish both directions they could have kept 3 lanes going through.
so, and I don't know how we didn't, but.
And right
We
now,
have a heavy volume that goes off the Snyder, so it really works to get people off of the interstate.
it does, I think what they need, and I know they're not finished, there's still some cleanup work and things to get done. But they need to get some signage up on the westbound 64 that talks about that
Yeah,
lane
eastbound
as
too.
a exit only lane at that point, because
Thing that tells you.
I've watched tractor trailers fly up and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I gotta get over.
Yep.
And so it's,
Yep. It's,
They say what lane to be in to get it.
yeah,
Great.
yep. The badges on the pavement of a lot. But yeah, right now the signage is not sufficient, especially right now.
yes, the westbound.
Eastbound people, I think, have gotten used to it, sort of.
Mhm.
And you can, for some reason, you can see what's happening a little bit better than back the other direction.
I mean, I think they'll clean up some of those signage and things, but I do think it stinks that you're going and you have to then, for the through traffic, has to merge to 2 lanes. To go and then get back to
Yeah,
3.
I mean, your long haul truck driver or things like that, you get in that lane, I mean, that's where you want to stay.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you can't, and then you're back to 3 lane. So but yeah, what it has done is freed up all the people that got clogged there in the morning. They're loose now and they're getting all clogged up at Hurston. So the last month,
Yes.
it's been bumper to bumper from the Watterson to the interstate every day. I changed the way I would work. Had to. This is double my travel.
Well, it's
So
still
instead of
great for me. I'm
congested-
sorry y'all got all.
Great, I mean,
Cause I come in from the south.
nobody stops it.
Good for
And
me.
we go green across the river and then you get over in that left lane and you don't have to worry about running in, somebody hitting you.
Lane. Like every time, every time.
But
Cause you gotta go over like 4 humongous things to get to the exit that's right there from 64. There's not a lot of leeway to get. How can I do it? I'm still alive. Well, yes, that's perfect, but if I'm coming late and want to get on record.
Larry, I got one more thing for you. I don't know how the other county judges feel, but our state road barn employees do a fabulous job in Trimble County, and David Smith and his crew needs to be acknowledged for the good job they do clearing roads and stuff.
Glad to hear that, they work hard.
They do.
I'll did all that, Keith King and our road department in Spencer County.
I'm glad they keep in good communication over you too.
Everybody on Facebook will say they went to some other county and it sucked, but Spencer was good. Of course, Nelson's in another district. And we're all in District 5. But
And I'll say for our people, when people get on there, badgering our road departments, our county and state, there's a lot of people get on there and say, hey, you all don't know what it takes to get this stuff done. You need to shut up. So
yeah,
it's,
exactly.
they take up for them because they do a good
It's
job.
not easy, it's dangerous work.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, all right, very good, very good discussion. And we're about out of time. It's about time to go next door. Get a cookie when you go. Any other business coming before this meeting, and again, we'll meet not next month, but the month after. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you, Brian. All in favor, say aye. Good job.
And, I'll remember all the.
Yeah, good job.